all right. Welcome to the All Things Performance Podcast. This is Josiah Igano with my co-host, Derek Devine. We're back for another season. D, how we living, man?
Hey, I'm just juiced, man. We're back season 4, ready to go. Yeah, this NFL is getting deep already.
That's
week
right.
3.
That's right, man. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be action packed in today's episode. But real quick, man, in terms of the NFL, what are your thoughts so far? Had some pretty interesting games, man, through the first 2 weeks, man.
We've had a couple boring ones too. There've been a couple hard to watch.
Hey, Aaron, this is the last time you're gonna face Tom, and it's gonna be boring. It's actually gonna be one of the most boring games of the season.
I'm sick and tired of them saying that too. It's like, can we not say it's the last time until it actually is?
Right.
Because we already got a potential Brett Favre thing going on down there in Tampa anyway.
Hey,
I don't know.
Brett Favre might mess around and come with all the stuff Brett Favre got going on, dude. He might mess around and come back for another run.
You know how it's always a struggle quarterback-wise in the NFL. Did you, man, I will say, I watched that Cowboys-Giants game last night, and for as much flack as they've been giving that Daniel Jones, that plays for dude, I thought he played awesome last night, and he took a beating.
Yeah,
he took a beating. That Dallas defense was impressive.
Yeah, Dallas, the Cowboys have all
2-0.
As much crap as I talk about the Dallas Cowboys, I will say this: since the beginning of time, Dallas has always had a great defense, man. They've always had a great defense
and an offensive line.
No doubt, without question. Yeah, man.
And an offensive line. I will say, dude, because me and my brother would go back and forth on this all the time. Because Troy Aikman let the word slip out that Emmitt Smith was the best to ever do it.
Oof.
And I was kind of like, ooh. I don't want to. I'm never going to throw anything on Emmitt Smith because it speaks for himself, right? But I was always, you can't overlook Barry Sanders.
You got Barry.
Barry.
You got Walter. You got Eric. You got, they're that era of running back. Thurman Thomas, Marshall Faulk.
But Joe, you could always make a comparison with he's a lot like this guy.
Yeah.
I have never seen another person you can say, oh, he's just like Barry.
No shot.
There's people you could say, oh man, he kind of looks like Emmitt Smith. Or he's got some Walter Payton in him, but there's not been a single person that could ever say, hey, that guy is just like Barry Sanders.
Yeah, legend. The guy left before his time.
Dude, I was looking him up last night, only played 10 years.
Yeah, before his time.
Had 15,000 yards rushing, made the Pro Bowl every year he played.
Yeah, without a line, without a dominant line. In Detroit.
You imagine, my whole thing was, what would he have done in Dallas?
If he would have done it, dude, if he would have, I can't, man, you can't even imagine. That's that's what we call not fair.
Dude, could you imagine playing only 10 years, rushing for 15,000 yards?
That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous.
Dude.
That's do the average on that. But how about this though? They got the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl, I don't know if you saw this, is going to be replaced by, I'm pretty sure, I don't quote me on this, but a skills challenge in a flag football game.
There's no Pro Bowl anymore?
I don't think they're doing a Pro Bowl this year, man. It's gonna be different. They're saying it's gonna be replaced by a flag football and a skills challenge. That's what we've come to. That's what we've come to.
Where are we at right now, bro?
Money, man. Money. Hey, money talks, bro. And some people say money screams, player. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to mess up that check.
Yeah, money's getting harder and harder to come by nowadays. So, hey, whatever they got to do.
Hey, you got to protect the assets, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez Louise, no Pro Bowl. Honestly, man, I can't believe this. You get rid of the whole thing in Hawaii. They had that whole thing going. It's a wrap.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, so back to clowning on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
How about Cooper Rush though? They got people in Texas talking about Cooper's better than Dak.
Oh, that's how it always goes. Everybody's over there talking. Hey, he's 2-0. He's 2-0. It's just kind of like, they don't. understand, man. It's like, it's real easy. I mean, they're always like, oh, it's so hard to get a win in the NFL. It's so hard. It's like, I think based off of what we've seen, it's easier to get them early on until they have tape, until they have all this stuff and really know a lot of stuff. We saw that with all those guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
We've seen that with all the gadget quarterbacks they bring in and all that. And then they get a year of film, right?
Yeah.
They get a year of film, and then look what happens.
Yeah.
And then you find out who they really are. So it's like, you know, of course, Dak's going to be getting hated on.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but real quick, because we don't have that. So check this out. Hard pivot. So what you got on Miami? Is Miami for real, bro?
Oh, so check this out. So I made a bet before the season with one of my buddies. and he said, dude, man, Pittsburgh looks terrible. But what you know about Tua down there in MIA with the 305? And I said, I'll bet you right now Pittsburgh gets more wins than the Miami Dolphins.
Oof.
Because my whole thing Mike Tomlin always writes a ship.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, from the top down, he always writes a ship. And, you know, he's been sending me way more messages than I've been sending him the first 3 weeks of the season. I'll say that.
Hey, but you, like you said, the first 3 weeks, man, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm a Pittsburgh fan. So at the end of the day, like everybody knows who knows me that I don't have high expectations, or let me say unrealistic expectations. But I'm still a fan. Like, I hate it when we lose. I love it when we win. And AFC North is one of the toughest, if not the toughest division, you know what I'm saying, in football, physically demanding divisions in football. So, I don't know, man. I'm not all the way in on Miami, though. I'm just not all the way in.
I will say this, though. As somebody that's played quarterback, I feel bad for Trubisky, because you already know where that's going to go.
Yeah.
You already know where that's going.
Yeah.
And we're going to see Pickett before we know it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for Tua in Miami, because they gave that guy so much flack when I think, dude, he was managing a dumpster fire for the last 2 years.
Oh, that organization, dude, I mean, has been in shambles, has been struggling for a long time, man. I mean, let's not take away what Brian Flores did, though. Let's not forget about
we tried to throw that out the window, didn't we? But the thing is like Tua didn't get any love for that. It was always, this is probably his last year. Yeah, they were saying the same stuff about Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones in New York. It's like, what have they had? Oh, Saquon just needs to look at the complete his career's exploded. It's just kind of like, dude, do we not understand this is a team game?
Right. Hey, but I want you to speak to this real quick, because you actually played in the league, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where I don't think a lot of people understand how cutthroat the National Football League is in terms of winning yesterday. Like, you have to win yesterday, and if you don't, there are a bunch of people lining up to take your job right now.
Oh yeah, it's all. I mean, you just got to think about it. So think about what Dak Prescott's done in Dallas. Okay, everybody went, oh, he won a Super Bowl. He hadn't done this, hadn't done that. But either way, dude, Dallas has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Either way, Dallas has been pretty good football team. And listen to what you imagine the stuff they're saying about him this morning.
Yeah.
Just the fact that there's even a doubt that just comes in the mind of people blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can't look at what Tua had in Miami and then sit here and be like, yeah, last year, get him out of here. When you just gave him a little bit of talent and look what's happened. And Miami's defense has played very well. And they've played very good football teams.
Defense this year, I don't know about you, man, but I feel like across the board, NFL defense is just up. It's trending up, like across the board, man.
I think it's easier to put a defense together than it is an offense. There's not as much timing. There's not as much rehearsal. And, you know, I think it's easier just kind of buckle up and start flying around the ball field, you know?
And offense always has to catch up, right? Offense always catching up. But I just feel like for whatever reason, man, like there's been some really good defense, man, these first 2 weeks. And again, it's the first 2 weeks. So real quick, hard pivot. Want to talk about our topic today, which is intimidation, right? Intimidation in the performance world, sports, right? You know, you and I have both been around people who are intimidating, people who use their platform to punk others, to intimidate others.
Oh yeah.
And so today I want to just to have like a casual conversation and then put some science to it and then give some solutions. So real quick, man, just like
I'd love to bring CT Fletcher on for this one.
Oh, CT. Hey, CT gave us a shout out, man.
I'm just telling you, maybe we have a guest.
Hey, CT gave us a shout out on one of his lives, man. He was doing some type of weight competition, and he was like, all things performance. Shout out, baby. I'm like, okay, let's go.
We might need to get him in the building. He'd have something to say on this topic.
Oh, buddy. So real quick, talk to us about your what is your 2 cents about intimidation? Does it work? Is it real? Do you use it? Has it worked on you? Like, talk to us real quick, man, about your thoughts.
Well, like the position I played, you didn't have time for that. Like there was always so much going on, but intimidation is real for real. I now looking back on it, post playing, I think a lot of intimidation works when there's a lack of preparation on the other side.
Okay.
I think it's hard to intimidate when you know what's going on.
Okay.
And I'm confident what I'm doing, and I know who I am, and I know what we've prepared for. I think a lot of that intimidation comes from the standpoint of, lack of preparation. But then again, I've seen it work several times.
Yeah. So that I would concur there. I'm big, me, I'm big on definitions, because if you got 15, if you got 15 people trying to define something 15 different ways, it just causes confusion. So when you look at intimidation, what is it? It is this attempt, when you intimidate somebody, it's an attempt to frighten or overwhelm, overawe. Some dictionaries would use the word overawe someone, especially to make them do what they want. Right? So I'm going to use when you look at intimidation, like let's talk about football, since we're talking about football. You can use it in basketball, you can use it in boxing, whatever sport. In the workplace, we see this in the workplace. It's basically using my presence, and usually with intimidation, people are using a physical input, right? They're using a physical input to conjure up some type of mental output to manipulate somebody to do something that they want them to do. So it can come in the form of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like strong eye contact. Like, bro, what you looking at, dog? Like, you got a problem? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It can come in the form of like physically expanding space, taking up space, pushing people. It can even come in the form of trash talk. It can come in the form of ignoring people, right? That's another one. That's some
that's one people would not hit on.
Yeah.
When that's a big one.
Yeah. Like
that's a big one.
Like I'm not even going to acknowledge you.
Yeah,
like,
let me make everybody feel uncomfortable in this room right now.
Exactly. That's intimidation. So you're using some type of physical input, right? To conjure up some type of mental output to manipulate that person to do something. So I'm a cornerback. I come up to the line. I got my receiver. I'm in press coverage. You trash, bruh. You trash. I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm intimidating them, right? I can even use it in the form of, if it's bump and run, I can just manhandle this dude for the whole route. Just like, man, you trash. You see what I'm saying? And I'm using a psychological input, right? Coupled with something physical to jack you up mentally.
When I think a lot of that, we've talked several times about motivation. I mean, I'm sorry, within the game, like the ebb and flow of the game. Who's not motivation, the momentum of the game. I think a lot of times that follows intimidation as well. Right. But you got to think about it. How confident do you need to be within yourself as that receiver you're guarding to not let any doubt in his mind about what you're saying?
Exactly.
Like you're talking, you have to be at the elitist of levels to not let any of that in and actually like laugh that play off and come back for the next.
And no doubt, and you're teeing it up perfectly. So some people, some viewers might be watching and saying, "Hey, how do you defeat intimidation? How do you come across somebody who's intimidating?" right? I'm going to give you guys some tools this morning, and I want to make sure, and we can probably talk about this on another show, but I'm not talking about fighting here, right? Like fighting, the psychology of fighting is something else. It's like when you're going fisticuffs with somebody, or somebody's trying to like punk you, or somebody's trying to harm you, and it turns into fighting. That's no longer, that's another level, an escalation of this, what we're talking about. So I'm just talking about, like, I'm trying to use my presence, my authority, my build, my title, my social status, right, to intimidate you. So how do you intimidate somebody, or how do you come against intimidation? So I just mentioned that intimidation is usually using some type of psychological, or some type of physical input to create a psychological output, a mental output, right? For what you're doing and what you're not doing. Now, how do you beat intimidation? Well, in psychology, there's this thing called the law of effect. The law of effect basically states that when there is a behavior, if there is a positive reinforcement for that behavior, I'm going to continue doing that behavior. So if I'm a bully and I get $1.50 out of you every time it's lunchtime every day, guess what? I'm about to keep doing it, because no one's stopping me. And every day I be punking kids, I get $1.50. Do the math on that. I punk 10 kids a day. You know what I'm saying? Start doing math. So the law of effect is saying that as I continue to do something and I'm positively reinforced, I will continue to do it. And conversely, if I do something and there is a negative reinforcement, there's a negative result, I will not do that thing. So a lot of bullies, a lot of people who are intimidators, they're looking for reinforcement as they're trying to intimidate you. They're looking for it. And usually intimidation is public. Many times it's public. Sometimes it's private between two people, but many times it's public. And so when they're intimidating, they're actually looking for things that are going to reinforce their behavior. So if you're cowering away, if you're getting small, if you're succumbing to what they want, if you're acquiescing to their needs, if you're demonstrating poor body language, that's feeding the fuel.
Exactly.
People who are intimidated or intimidators, they need more fuel. So this is how you defeat it. You basically, what you do is you overcome it with a truth. Right. Oh, you trash. No, I'm not trash. I've actually prepared. I know I've got my installs in. I've studied the playbook over and over. I know what the tendencies are. I know what the heat maps are. I understand my speech. I understand the points of inflection that I have to deliver. So I'm not trash. Okay. I know what the truth is. And what happens is you mirror that. You use that psychological truth to express an inward reality. So that's good. You smile, right? Like, because you know the truth about who you are and whose you are, right? And how prepared you are. You do that, and guess what? When somebody who's doing the intimidation looks at you, they're like, yo, man, why is this dude smiling at me?
Well, like, dude, the biggest example that comes to my mind is one of my favorite receivers of all time is Steve Smith Sr.
I knew you were gonna say Steve Smith, because Steve Smith's the OG. That's the OG right there.
Now I'm telling you, this guy, complete rabbit trail, top wide receiver core, hands down. If you get picks, that dude is a flat out savage.
Yes.
But if we come back there, they always would have him mic'd up because he could just run his mouth all the time. And there were always highlights of corners running their mouth to him. And really a lot of his back and forth would be like, do you know who I am? Like, come on, man. Like, you're going to have to come with something good, because you're looking at, Triple Crown, Pro Bowl. Future Hall of Famer. And you could just see the deflation in the safety or the DB or whoever was running their mouth to him, because it was like, oh yeah, I really can't go that route on him because he knows who he is. And I just the percentage of people, not just in the NFL, just in life, that would actually have that level of confidence, I think we're talking 1%.
No doubt, man. And does intimidation 1%. Work? You better believe it works. You better believe it works. Right? You better believe it works. But the opposite, it's the law of polarity, right? So for every positive, there's a negative. There's no such thing as a one-sided door, a one-sided sheet of paper, or a one-sided pancake, right? It doesn't exist. And it's furthermore, it's not because it doesn't exist. It cannot exist. It cannot exist. So if somebody's sitting there talking trash and trying to intimidate me, there's another side of that coin that you can use for your advantage.
Yep.
So somebody's talking trash. Somebody's talking trash. Somebody's trying to intimidate me. I say, you know what? Hold up. Hold up. This is the truth about me. I know who I am. I know whose I am. Right? I know why I'm here. I understand my purpose. And I'm going to express that. And it might come out in the form of me talking trash back to you. It might come out in the form of me smiling. Yeah. I think Shaquille O'Neal, man, said it best. And I cannot believe I didn't get the quote, but he said that Tim Duncan was the absolute worst. He said, man, I would try to talk trash to Tim Duncan. He goes, I talk trash to all the centers, but he said I could never.
No, this is Kevin Garnett saying that. Didn't Kevin Garnett say this too?
It might have been KG, but they were talking about King. I thought it was Shaq. I thought it was Shaq. We might have to go back and run the tape, but they were talking about Tim Duncan. They were saying Tim Duncan, you couldn't get in here. You couldn't get in here. He would just smile. Just do his little footwork. 2 points. And one. Like
he would do stuff that you would be like, how is he scoring?
Yeah.
One of the best ever. I remember seeing KG on Area 21, the Kevin Garnett show.
Yeah.
And he would say, they asked him, who did you hate playing against the most? And he said, Tim Duncan, hands down.
I think they all said it. They all said it, bro.
That Tim's terrible. I hate playing against Tim.
Yeah.
Because, dude, Tim was just that dude.
And it goes into this conversation of intimidation. Dude, intimidation, the last thing I'll say about this is intimidation. If you're trying to intimidate people, intimidation is costly in terms of energy, right? It costs you physical and cognitive energy to intimidate. And when you run into a buzzsaw, somebody who knows who they are, right? And they know the truth about who they are, and they express that openly, like sometimes in the form of a smile or them talking trash back to you, or them
Muhammad Ali referred to it as the rope-a-dope.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy. What happens is, the law of effect, right? When you're getting that negative reinforcement back at you, you're just like, dude, I can't get into this dude's mind. So
yeah, but anyway, I tell you, I think one of the best examples of intimidation too that you could use, Mike Tyson.
Oh, what? Best.
Come on, Mike. Yeah. I mean, if there's somebody that says, I just don't really believe in Mike Tyson, it's like, in intimidation, let's YouTube something real quick.
This dude was knocking cats out like 19 seconds, 10 seconds.
It was a wrap. Because they just, that man was bulletproof.
Hey, man. Good session today. Hope everybody's doing well. Continue to follow us on all channels, All Things Performance, Josiah Igano, Derek Devine. We have a lot of great things coming up. We just ran a Separators 3-day challenge, which was awesome. When you start looking at the height of athletic performance, the number one separator between two similar athletes are psychological variables. And we
all upstairs.
Month. Yeah, we do these every month, and we'd love to have you join. We're going to be posting information on that, and love to have you join us for a Separators challenge at the end of this month. I think we're coming to an end here on this show. But God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.